Hey guys, this is Jonathon Henderson with Pressure Washing Marketing Pros, and I got JC Chanowsky with me right now, Mr. Christmas. How you doing, man?
I'm great, Jonathan. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me here today with you.
Hey, thank you so much for joining me today, man. Because what I want to talk about with you guys today, because as you may or may not know, JC, he owns four different, like I said, business, well, three, but like I said, this man has been jet setting around everywhere. But I know, JC, you're the owner of Cape Fear Pro Wash, Patriot Illumination, Beyond the Bulbs, and In the Foxhole, a podcast that you and Angela just went ahead and launched, right? Talking about the successes and the downfalls of the entrepreneurial journey. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and those businesses?
Yeah, absolutely. So JC Chanowsky, reside in Wilmington, North Carolina. I've got two amazing daughters, Nixie and Annika, that just been a blessing to me and really, just an integral part of both the businesses and my growth in it. That's been kind of fun watching them be a part of it. But I started, Cape Fear Pro Wash 2009 after getting out of the Navy. And we can get really into that a little bit more if you want later. But slowly grew that company. 2016, I learned about the Christmas light industry, which is an incredible industry. So happy to be talking about that. And through that, just networking, meeting other like-minded business individuals. This actually 6 months ago, I was able to launch Beyond the Bulbs with Matt Hyden, Ryan Fox, and Brett Madison, Christmas Light Mastermind collaboration group, which I'm truly passionate about. And with the success of my amazing girlfriend, Angela, we just recently launched In the Foxhole, where, you see all the time, everybody talking about the highlight reels of life. Well, we're talking about the unhighlights, if you will. We're talking about where times are tough, where we really needed somebody, where we weren't sure if we're going to able to succeed as an entrepreneur, but how we're able to get through that and still persevere and become better humans and individuals in the entrepreneurial world.
Yes, and guys, that's what I want to mainly highlight in today's videos, Beyond the Bulbs, because right now, what is it? It's basically July, right? The end of July, and that Christmas.
Christmas in July.
Yeah, it's fastly approaching us, right? But before we talk about Beyond the Bulb, before we talk about your, successes in the Christmas light industry and the exterior cleaning industry, can you give us a little background? Like I said, you want to elaborate on your Navy, how you got in the Navy, the exterior cleaning business, all of that. Can you tell us your backstory?
Yeah. So 2004, I was going nowhere fast in life, and I knew I needed to do something. I was 23 at the time, and I literally woke up one day. I was in bed and probably hungover, and I said, I need to do something with my life because what I'm doing right now is not going to get me anywhere. And I actually went over to the recruiting station, talked to the Army, and I knew nothing about the military other than what you see on TV and movies. I did zero research, zero nothing. That's the type of person I was back in the day. And I went to the Army office and I was like, all right, I just want to sign up. I don't care what I do. Let me in. And I just got this guy on the side, just like, go Army, like just loud as he can be, typical Army grunt. And I was like, I can't do this. Like, this is not for me. I was probably still hungover and had a headache, but I was like, all right, guys, I'm out. Walked over to the Navy and had a Navy chief sit there and talk to me. Fast forward 6 months, I'm at Great Lakes, Chicago, Illinois, in March, freezing my butt off. Still had no clue what I was getting myself into, but it was the best decision I ever made in my life and really just changed my whole life around. Had an incredible career, spent 3 years overseas in Guam, forward deployed. Fast forward to, today, end up making chief petty officer, which is, God, I don't know, it's like the top 1% or something like that. They say that picks up that rank in the Navy, and just had a really incredible career. So I'm very grateful for the life lessons I learned during the Navy, as leadership, teamwork, all those little things helped mold me to be the leader I am today. But when I stepped away from the Navy 2009, I didn't want to go back working for somebody else. That's when I started Cape Fear Pro Wash. I started that living in my dad's house. My father and I, Brian, started Cape Fear Pro Wash with a 12-volt Fat Boy Bandit. I mean, as basic and bare bone as you can get, and just slowly grew that, to a 4 gallon a minute. Wow, holy cow, 12-volt to 4 gallon. It's like it's incredible, But then you went 4 to 5. You're like, oh, this is even better. And then you get to the 8, you're like, all right, now I'm driving the Cadillac, like Lamborghinis. And like, why was I using a 12-volt or 4-gallon, but you got to have humble beginnings. And that's what makes, my beginning great, because I started at the bottom. It wasn't just rolling into those $90,000 skids that you see people rolling up with nowadays.
Mhm.
And I just happened to be at a pressure washing convention trade show, 2016. And I look over to the side and I see a wreath on a wall and it says, "We hang Christmas lights." And I just instantly drawn to it like a magnet. I'm like, what is this? I love Christmas. What are they talking about? I met Brett and Ryan, my partners in Beyond the Bulb out there. And they're like, "Yeah, we hang lights for a living." And I'm like, there's just no way somebody's going to pay me money to hang lights. Like, everybody loves hanging Christmas lights. Why would they pay me to do it? Well, I was wrong. And people love paying me to hang Christmas lights. And like, we all try and find our passion in life and we think we find it. And I thought I had it with the washing. And then I found the light industry, the Christmas light industry. And like, that's what I'm passionate about. I mean, these jackets that I wear all the time, getting out there, the videos I post, the chats, and everything I do is like, I'll talk for Christmas lights with people for hours and never get bored. Now you talk to me about pressure washing. I'm like, can we just talk about Christmas lights or something else, please?
Well, JC, I'm gonna have you talk a little bit about pressure washing today.
All right, just a little bit, but we can talk more about Christmas lights. That'll be good.
Yes. This is 80% about Christmas lights. Definitely 80% about Christmas lights. So did you start your Christmas light company in 2016? So you saw We Hang Christmas Lights. You saw there was an appeal there. So did you just immediately go into it? Because I know you said you started Cape Fear back in 2009. So fast forward to 2016, that 7-year gap. So it's probably chugging along. You know what I mean? But did you just say, "Hey, I'm just going to start this division right now for Christmas lights"? Or was it kind of a slow burner?
So I'm very particular with anything we do. Like, we never got into paper sealing. We never got into things that I feel that we're not going to be good at. So this is October 2016. It's still just my father and I running the company. I was full-time Navy and part-time washing at that time. I went home, ordered some lights, had zero training. And I remember it was like, I don't know, it had to be 7 o'clock at night because it was dark out. And I'm scaling my roof, had no clue what I was doing, no instructions. There was no manual to hang Christmas lights in 2016. Put the lights up, and I'm like, oh, like Clark Griswold. I was so excited. I didn't fall off the ladder. The house didn't burn down. The lights looked incredible. I was like, "Dad, I think we're onto something." So I just did a couple of, I guess we had Facebook back then, 2016, posts and, reached out and see who wanted to put some lights up. We had 3 customers that year. And that was fine because I don't want to put everything into something if we're not going to be good at it. We tested it. They loved it. And we're like, all right, let's try it again next year. And we still stayed at Cape Fear Pro Wash as the name because we weren't fully invested into it yet. Next year, we went from 4 to 25. And I had so much fun doing it. I remember I'd be out till 11 o'clock at night hanging Christmas lights by myself, like scaling roofs and probably pissing off the homeowners because here I am just like trying to hang lights just to get it up because I worked all day, but I had to get these lights up. And it was just so much fun, the joy and the excitement that everybody got from it and the reviews. And I was like, this is it. Like, this is the one, Dad. This is what we need to do. And we're, gonna set our brand. It will be the brand in the area. And there's only one other company at the time doing it. So this was not a saturated market at all. Like, you couldn't even Google Christmas light installation and find anybody. So we were like the very beginning of Christmas lights in this area because the other company, they've been around, but just didn't have a big online presence at that point.
No, definitely. So where do your companies stand now? So where does Cape Fear Pro Wash stand right now? And where does Patriot Illumination stand right now?
As far as
like revenue, employees, everything. If you're willing to say, you know what I mean? If you're willing
yeah. So I'll tell you what we did last year. Because I couldn't tell you right now. I haven't looked at the numbers to even tell you where I know we are probably a little bit behind on the wash side this year. It's kind of slowed down significantly, especially commercial work. But last year we finished, I think it was around 880 on pressure washing, Cape Fear Pro Wash, and 950 on the Christmas light side, Patriot. And this year our goal is 1.2 on Patriot, and I think our goal was really like 850. We didn't want to grow it. We just wanted to maintain it and really focus on the Christmas light side.
All right, then. So focusing on that. So I'm pretty sure, well, I know for a fact that journey to becoming like $1 million, lighting company in that sense has given you a lot of insight that you can share with others. And so I know I was scrolling on Facebook because you're plastered over there, man. I love seeing your content all over Facebook, man. But I know that you started a group called Beyond the Bulbs, and it really helps people out. So can you tell me more about that? Because mainly my audience is exterior cleaning business owners, and you probably know, being in the exterior cleaning game, a lot of guys say like, is it worth it? I don't know where to start at. What kind of employees, what equipment, all of this stuff. But now we got you guys, we got other kind of programs, but talking about you guys specifically, like Matt, owner of Clippa, all of you guys, like I would just say like the four horsemen kind of, right? Of like the Christmas light industry. Can you tell us about Beyond the Bulbs?
Sure. Yeah. I felt there was a void in this type of service for the Christmas light industry. You got a lot of groups out there doing training, and then you train, and then it's like, all right, well, now go to the Facebook groups, and then you can filter through all that. And some of it's good, some of it's bad. But I needed something that would align with my vision, which was helping other Christmas light installers, and along with Matt, Brett, and Ryan. Like, we have 40 years of combined experience. I'm not saying we are the best Christmas light installers out there, but we are very passionate about what we do. We want to help people succeed. And like it or not, there's going to be more Christmas light installers in your area. It's just going to happen. Nothing's going to stop it. Just like the pressure washing market, it is getting saturated, or getting to that saturation point here soon. So we wanted to embrace it and invite like-minded individuals who want to succeed, want to grow their lighting companies, and try and avoid the same mistakes that we've made in the past. And there's no reason why I can't show somebody how we're going to seven figures, how Matt has already taken his company to seven figures, how Brett and Ryan have already taken their company to seven figures, and help others succeed along the way. And the thing is, it's a collaboration of like-minded individuals, like I said. So there might be, let's say, Jonathan, you joined. There's probably a lot of good things that you're really good at that I'm not. And there's a lot of good things that I'm good at that you need help with. So we can help each other. It's not just the four of us telling you and everybody within the group, like, this is what you need to do. No, we don't want that. We want everybody within the group to help each other. Because as a collaboration, things that you might be doing really well might work in your market. But if I told somebody, what it's doing in my market, it ain't going to work for them. But if you told them, they're like, oh, yeah, let me try that thing too. So it's just a collaboration of like-minded, winning companies that are looking to succeed, and we're holding each other accountable. Mm-hmm. Most Christmas light companies, it's go, go, go. October, November, December 15th. We're just gun-ho installing Christmas lights. We can't even breathe. We're drowning with leads come November 1st. We get Thanksgiving, we take a little break, and then December, it's kind of like, all right, let's just get what we can. Anything after December 15th is like a Christmas bonus. We take 2 weeks off, and then January comes, they take the lights down, and that's it. It's like, we take the lights, we put them in storage, and that's where the company goes to. Nobody thinks about Christmas lights until maybe July, if they're lucky. Usually it's September where they start marketing to their clients. But there's that 6 months that we just missed an opportunity on. Like, why didn't we reach out to our past customers as we're taking the lights down and get them on the schedule for 2023? Why didn't we start taking a deposit and having some cash flow coming in for the next 10 months because, we're breaking their payments up? Why didn't we reach out to Mike, who said, no, I can't afford you guys, you're too expensive, in November? Well, Mike, now we can break up your payments over the next 10 months and make it affordable for you. Why didn't we reach out to Sarah, who said, hey, I just don't see the value of putting my lights up on December 10th, because that's when she reached out to us, because that's only 2 weeks of Christmas lights. So where's the value? All right, Sarah. Well, hey, it's January. Let's lock you in for a November 1st install. Now you have 8 weeks of value. How does that sound? So all these things that we could be doing throughout the year. But again, everybody just puts the lights on the shelf. So they put the business on the shelf, and then they wait till open it up and start dusting things out. We're here Beyond the Bulbs to hold us accountable, to be more successful, to be able to increase our capacity, which will increase our goal, which help give us bigger profits.
Hey man, that is awesome. And you just dropped 2 bombs on people just now, right? And I just learned something new too, to where you talked about the 2 biggest objections that you probably always get in the Christmas light industry, right? Is, man, this is expensive, right? And just like you said, because my next question that I was going to segue to you was going to be, why should business owners get ready for Christmas light season before September? And I know you can elaborate on that more, but I want the people to really, consume what you just said, in the sense that if somebody says it's too expensive, if you hit them up at, in February, March, you can say, hey man, we can break these payments down to where you just pay us $100 until, December time, whatever it may be, right? So that it's easier to manage. And then also, like you said, where people are hitting you up December 1st and they're like, well, I don't see the value in it. Like, I'm only having these lights up for 2 to 3 weeks. Should I get a discount? Should I get this, that, and the other? And you're like, well, look, so we don't make the same mistake you made last year. Let's go ahead and hang up your lights November 1st, just like you said. So what are some other reasons why business owners should get ready for Christmas light season before September?
It's like I said, it's a very high tempo, high stress season. And October is kind of like, let's say, the warm up. And November is where, it's the Super Bowl and you got go, 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 go. And if we're not fully prepared, if we didn't follow up with our customers and make sure that, what we're going to be hanging for them is the same or whatever, if we're not spending the time to properly invest in our team, to train them properly and build out that training platform or that training program, you're just going to wing it and you're just going to show up and you're going to try and hire a bunch of people in a short period of time, and trying to find good quality seasonal employees or team members is hard. And you have to train for that. You have to figure out why they should come work for you for 3 months and do an 8-star service with your company. And with the Christmas lights, you only get one shot. With pressure washing, if I go and wash a house and I miss a spot, I got some algae or there's stain or there's some spots in the window, hey, I need you guys back to fix this. All right, we'll come back. We'll fix it tomorrow. Sorry about that. Good to go. Your house is looking good. Great. Perfect. Cool. Christmas lights. If I go install your lights and you had this big reveal, you got all the friends over, the neighbors, the relatives. I mean, you're on Facebook Live and you're like, oh, guys, everybody, look at this. Patriot Illumination installed the lights and Clark Griswold, and you just go and plug them in. And then it's like, what just happened? Like half the lights don't work, nothing that we agreed to. You don't get that time back. Like, it's not like, well, hey, come fix it and we're just going to do the big reveal again tomorrow night. No, like, you just ruined the whole experience for that customer. Now the neighbors are like, well, I'm definitely not calling that company. And they're going all over Facebook like, like, I just wouldn't go with these guys. So you really need to prepare yourself instead of just winging it and showing up on October 1st and like, all right, it's time to hang some lights. Like, we're going all out and doing a 5-day full-on like training platform for our team this year, where we're going to invest 5 full days on training our team. And many reasons for doing that, but one, we want to make our teams as efficient as possible. If they're more efficient when they're installing lights, we're able to increase our daily capacity per team. So if our team is only as good as, let's say, $3,000 a day for installing lights with 2 days of training, but then we did 5 days of training and now they're a $3,500 to $4,000 a day capacity, do that over. The math is it's 53 days of install time from October 1st to December 15th, taking out Thanksgiving. That's 53 days, Monday through Friday, less Thanksgiving. So do that difference. It was like a $1,000 difference, per team. That's $53,000 more you can add to your capacity or to your goal for the season by properly investing in training and in your team to make sure that they're out there installing properly and having fewer callbacks, and your clients are going to be a heck of a lot happier.
Yeah, no, you brought up some very good points. And so one thing I do want to talk about, I want to talk about 2 things. Will that information that you're talking about, some of that training and all of that, be available in Beyond the Bulbs as well?
Yeah, so everything that I just talked about is things we discussed within and Beyond the Bulbs, whether it's online, through our Zoom meetings, through the portal. And again, we're trying to get everybody as prepared for the season as possible. That's why we're like heavily invested in the next 2 months with talking about these things, talking about how to reach out to commercial clients, how to follow up with residential clients. And I mean, most of these guys that are going to be on Bulbs right now, they said when they joined, like, they weren't even thinking about marketing to their clients until August, September. And now I've got guys who have more on the calendar right now than they have ever had in years combined, because of the things they're doing. And some of them, they even said, yeah, I would just send out a text message and hope they replied. And then they joined and started calling people. They're like, holy cow, like, why was I never calling anybody?
Yeah.
So it's just we think we're doing everything right, but we could be doing things better. And that's with every process, every system that we have. There's always a way to improve on that. And the day that we say like we have it perfect is the day you're gonna start failing yourself and failing your company. So it's why it's important to be a part of mastermind groups, coaching groups, networking groups, so that you can constantly improve and become a better leader, a better owner, a better individual.
Yes, yes. And so I actually checked out the website, and guys, Beyond the Bulbs and everything about it will be provided in the description, whether you're watching on the podcast or you're watching on YouTube as well. It's going to be in the description where you guys can sign up. But I took a look at the website and I saw the membership levels, and I was like, this is actually pretty, like, this is pretty affordable. So can you go over kind of like the membership levels as well? Because I know if I'm an exterior cleaning business owner or any other type of business owner that does home services, and I look at it and I ask questions to myself, like, where can I get started? You know, is this going to be one of those things where I'm having to pay $15,000 for, you know what I mean? In the sense of an upfront payment, and I'm not ready for it, right? You know, is this something that can be affordable to me? Is this something that I can get off the ground easily? Because you know that a lot of guys have that, you know, and that contention, right? But if you make it easier for people, it's like, all right, I know I can have this payment right here. Good to go. Can you go over your membership levels? Because for me, I loved it. I was like, this can really get guys to take action.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're very what's the word I want to say? It's not a anyone can join group. First of all, we do good fit calls for everybody because we want to make sure that not only are you a good fit for Beyond the Bulbs, but Beyond the Bulbs is good fit for you, because we want growth mindset. We want people who are willing to collaborate and help each other out. It's not like JC joins and like, I only want what JC's be good for JC. I don't care about anything else. So just give me. No, that's not what we want. We want people to help each other out. So we have two different levels, and we just added a third that will be live this week. So the first level is Lumen Learners. Those are the guys that have been in the crystal light industry maybe a year or two and are trying to work their way to $250,000, $500,000. They have the idea, they've done the installs, they understand how stressful it can be, but they're trying to work on their systems and processes to be more efficient. Then we have Lumen Leaders. Did I say that was $297 a month? I'm not sure if I said that.
So it's 97 for Lumen Learners, guys essentially trying to go either from 0 to 500K, 250,000. These are guys that have some experience in it, but they really want to take it to that next level to be able to scale it to 250,000, 500,000 and add that. So that's Lumen Learners, 297 a month.
Yep. Then you have Lumen Leaders, the guys that have been in for a while, that have working their way towards seven figures. So the guys that have been there about, let's say, I don't know, $300,000 to $500,000 mark right now. And with the Lumen Learners, you get one Zoom call a month. You get access to a Facebook group. You get access to an online portal. And then we also bring in a vendor or outside professional outside of myself, Brett, Ryan, and Matt, to talk about services. Like we had Company Cam come on. God, I can't think of who else right now, but we bring other people in because we want to add and pack in a bunch of value, because it's not just about Christmas lights, but it's about what the vendors can be doing for you to make your life easier, your company easier. With Lumen Leaders, you get 2 Zoom calls a month and get access to the online portal. You get access to more resources on that portal. Every video or Zoom call that's already been has happened, you get access to those as well. So you can go back and look at everything. So even if you join today, you can go back the last 4 months and see everything, see all the conversations. And that is $597 a month.
597. So yeah, that's a lot of jam-packed value. And you guys will be able to have that, because I know people will ask, how can they sign up? Well, they can sign up, guys. I know JC will give me that link so that you guys can have it in the description of either the podcast or the YouTube video. So I want to go back to, I'm a guy right now, like let's say I'm an exterior cleaning business owner, because I'm pretty sure a lot of your guys, like I'd say probably a good 60% to 70% of your guys are washers, right?
Yeah.
Kind of act this as a service. And I'm looking at it and I'm saying, I know you're talking about employees and training your employees. And of course, I want people to sign up for Beyond the Bulbs and get more information. But can you give us a little insight in terms of like employees? Have you used the employees that you had at Cape Fear, you know what I mean, Pro Wash, and just said, okay, you guys are going to learn how to do Christmas lights? Or was it like you hired separately for that? Because I know that can stop guys from doing this, where they're like, can I use my own team right now if I already have a team? Do I have to go hire a new set of guys? Can you shed some light on that?
Yeah. So first you said employees, then you said team. That's one thing that we like to differentiate ourselves right away is we don't like to use the word employee, because we want to build a team. We want people to feel a part of something, so they can come to our family, if you will, our tribe. And that helps build our culture, which is super important. And most pressure washing companies, especially the ones up north, are going into the Christmas lights because they're trying to fill that void in the wintertime where everything is slow. And previously, that's what we do. We bring everybody over to the light side because the numbers we can do daily on a Christmas light install team versus washing, it's not even comparable. So we pretty much shut down all of washing in the months of October, November, and pick it back up in December. And so we do make that transition, and then we have to hire about, I'd say, 6 to 8 seasonal guys to come on board and help us out with that as well. But yeah, for the most companies, they will transition their guys over or keep a skeleton crew on the wash side. Just depends on how busy they can be. If they're not that busy in the lighting as they're trying to grow it year over year, they'll have one crew that's washing. And then, you could start the lighting, your lighting team with as few as 2 people. I never recommend anybody doing a light install solo. That's just safety comes into a big play with that. But you can get easily started with a 2-man crew. I prefer a 3 or 4-man crew. 3 is kind of ideal, just depending on the job size. But I found that 3 is kind of the sweet spot for when it comes to a really good install team.
So yeah, so you basically recommend guys that if they already have employees, or even if they're 1-man crews, they need to just get those kind of, if they're 1-man crew, you need to get some damn seasonal workers then, right? In that sense. And if they already have a team, kind of transition them over to, on the Christmas light side. But just depending on, like you said, that's why they would go in a group like Beyond the Bulbs, because, what works for one guy, where he's like, look, man, I'm in California, like how Matt is, I'm in California, man. San Diego or Los Angeles is way different than it's going to be in San Francisco or Oakland, right? In terms of the winter time. So, you'd have those specifics, but that was really good information where you said, like, look, depending on your business, if you're 1-man crew, get some helpers. If you already have some guys, you can go ahead and transition them over in that sense, or you can have, like I said, kind of like a ghost crew in that sense that, those guys are pressure washing in that sense. What was the biggest struggle or hardest thing you faced when growing your exterior cleaning company and your Christmas light company? What was the hardest thing of growing those businesses? There's probably a lot of things, but what was the hardest?
Yeah, and I think it's going to be the same for most. Would be the team and trying to hire, especially a seasonal rock star, and just letting go. Letting go, knowing that, for years I did the installs by myself, and that thing had to be perfect every single way. And knowing that it wasn't going to be perfect every single time, but as long as the customer was happy, my team was safe, and the job was completed, whether it's my way or tweaked a little bit their way, that's all that mattered. So that was the hardest part, was like, it's trying to have so much control over everything that didn't matter. It didn't matter that if it was exactly my way or not. So, and then building that culture for not only for to be able to hire rock stars, but for your team to be recruiters for you, and for people to say, like, I want to work for Cape Fear Pro Wash. I need to be at Patriot Illumination this season. And we've had guys come back year after year for the lighting. We've had a seasonal guy that was seasonal, then he went full-time working for us. So we're always looking to capture rock stars and keep them on year round if we can. And they know that when they're hired on seasonal, like, hey, there's an opportunity for you to possibly stay on throughout the whole year. But it's not always going to be for everybody, just because we slow down so much in the wash side.
Yeah, no, understandable. So what has the importance of coaching been for your, for your business? Because from my understanding from a previous podcast that I watched, I know that you joined a group, right, in 2019 for yourself, and that really had changed your business for the better. Like, it was just exponential rise that I heard that you took, from 2009 to 2019, kind of just like, man, I'm kind of all over the place. And then all of a sudden you join a group, right? A coaching group. And I'm sure that helped you build your culture, build your team. Can you talk a little bit about that? And also, can you talk about, after finishing that, can you talk about how Beyond the Bulbs can do the same for, any kind of business owner?
Yeah, absolutely. So I remember the call, it was with Pat Clark, and I was very shy back then. I just happened to message Pat on Facebook, and Pat was just like open. He's like, hey, brother, whatever you got, whatever you need, I'm here for you, blah, blah, blah. He's like, have you ever heard of Conquer? I'm like, what's Conquer? And he's like, oh, you got to get a hold of Conquer, looking at Conquer. It's a coaching group. And I had just signed up for Sales Boost 2019. So I went to Pat Clark Sales Boost, which was an incredible show as well. I've been to 3 of them now, but Conquer was just able to open my eyes to the world. Like, I thought I knew everything. I was the greatest at this, the best at that. And I just found out I was doing everything the hardest way possible, making the most mistakes, and just, just spinning in circles and getting no traction with that. And Conquer was able to give me the tools and resources and the confidence to hire and to grow the company successfully. And we went from 2019 to, I think it was myself and my father and a sales office manager at that point, to, not even 2 years later, we had 22 employees at the peak of our Christmas light season. And that was all because of the tools and resources that Conquer had afforded us to just take in and realize, like, hey, we could do things better. These individuals, these coaches have done this. They've made the mistakes. Why are we going to make the same mistakes they've already made? So why don't we just listen to them and put the resources in place to be successful, and not sit here struggling going from $250 to $300,000. Let's go $250 to $500,000. And I'll never forget my phone call with my coach, Michael Grigory, and he's sitting there and I'm just sitting at the desk, and he's like, JC, you realize you just hit 7 figures today. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, you're a 7-figure company right now. And I'm like, I was in shock. Like, I couldn't believe it. And that just wasn't a mindset for me when I started my company. Like, if we did $100,000, that was cool. If we hit $500,000, that'd be amazing. But $1 million, like, what? So, being able to just shut up, listen to them, and implement it sounds easy, but it's so hard for folks because it's costly, because sometimes change requires an expense, but that expense will get you time freedom to be able to do other things like hiring people and putting processes in place. And that's what Beyond the Bulbs is, really involved with too, is just that shortcut for people to get to that $500,000, to get to the 750, to get to the $1 million, because we've done it. We're going to show you the resources to do it, how to hire properly, how to train people, how to do the installs so that they look forward to the takedowns, instead of doing the install and saying, like, I have a shortcut, and then you come do a takedown, and now they're like, wait, that shortcut was really the complete opposite, because now I got to do twice the work to take it down. So now you guys are spending more time doing the takedowns when you have no money coming in. So we're talking about all these things and looking forward 3 to 6 months and focusing on today, so that while you're training your team, they're going to be as efficient as possible, so that come October, November, nobody's scrambling like, what, like, I can, the phones and this and the leads and the estimates. It's like, all right, we're prepared.
Yeah, definitely. And you actually sparked something of me to ask you right now, because I actually have a video talking about, because we work with over 75 exterior cleaning business owners, and you sparked something, because you said in 2019 that it was just your father, yourself, and an office manager. And I think I literally just made a video this weekend talking about how I think that majority of exterior cleaning business owners, right, should hire an office manager probably as one of their first hires. Would you agree or disagree with that?
I think it's the most important hire. I think that is the most time-freeing hire you can hire. It just allows you to focus on the customer, focus on the estimate, or focus on the client, instead of answering the phone, doing all this stuff and juggling. Like, yes, it's important to hire somebody to get you off the truck, but getting yourself off that phone so you can actually do those things and not have to worry about all the things, get the estimates out properly, get the invoicing. Like, I feel that freedom right there is worth far more than hiring somebody on that truck. That's just my personal opinion, but I personally think that key role, that office manager, is the most critical for business owners that are starting to grow their company from themselves to the next person.
And I'm glad you said that, because I learned, I know Pat, I had him on this. I had him on as well. And he said the same thing when it came to the office manager, because we think that if we hire a guy that's going to be able to, okay, yeah, if I get this other guy, we'll be able to do the job 5 times faster, right? That's what most guys are thinking. They're thinking that I'll be able to do this job 5 times faster, which will free me up to do estimates and all this. And really, you're not doing that because we, when you're first starting off, you got eight hats to fill, right? And so when you hire that technician, he's not going to go door knocking for you. He's not going to do estimates for you. He's not going to do invoicing for you and all these different things, right? So you're only filling one hat up. When you have an office manager, you're filling like 4 to 5 different hats, you know, in that sense. So thank you for that, for just confirming, because I'm like, I think most guys as their first hire should get an office manager when it comes to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you don't have to tell us all the nuggets, right? But you can give us one or two, like 1 or 2 nuggets, man. What type of sales and marketing do you do for your Christmas light company and even your exterior cleaning company? I'm pretty sure you kind of do the same thing. So what kind of sales and marketing, you don't have to give away all the secrets, but what are 1, 2 things that are like, look, man, like these are what I do all the time, when it comes to these 2 businesses?
Yeah, so our number one thing that we focused on super early was our branding. And I remember talking to my graphic designer and I told him like, hey, I want this wrap to be obnoxiously awesome. Like I want people to see us and just never forget like, whoa, what was that? And I remember when we had one truck on the road and we'd hear people all the time like, hey, we saw your trucks everywhere. And it was just one truck for like 2 years. And then we just kept building and building and building. Now, everywhere we go, people know if they see a blue and yellow truck, they know it's Cape Fear Pro Wash. When they see the red and blue, they know it's Patriot Illumination. And that's probably like our number one keyword search on Google. We just looked the other day. It's not people looking for Christmas light installation near me or Christmas light installers. It's Patriot Illumination they're looking up because our brand is so on point that people know, like, you want Christmas lights? Patriot Illumination. So that was really important doing that early because it was just cheaper to do it up front than to do a rebrand, because rebrands are really expensive. So it's just being consistent with that. And another thing too is reviews. Like we have over 500 5-star reviews on Cape Fear Pro Wash. I think we're about 180 on Patriot Illumination, and we're real big on that because we just want to make sure that we are delivering that 5-star service to our customer. And if we're not, we want to know about it. And we're not out there just to throw up some lights and call it a day. Like we're there for the long haul. We're there for the experience. We want to make sure that they're not only happy, but they're going to be calling us next year, and they're going to have the friends call us throughout the year to do that. And social media, it's free. It's easy. It's cheap if you're doing some ads and things like that, but why not just take advantage of what's free? And people are always on it every single day, so it's likely they're going to see it and share it within the free groups, the yard sale groups, or whatever it is. Have the mom share it. Ask the customer to share it within their community page. That's the biggest way we get a lot of our leads, is once they get in there and like, hey, Patriot Illumination, which is here hanging lights, like all of a sudden it's like, what, lights? And then everybody wants to know about it. Like they don't want to be the only one without the lights. So they're like, start calling us. And it was because of a post in 2020 that a regional manager saw our post and had every single one of her properties call us. I think it was 13 properties call us in one day.
Oh, man.
And we're like, what is going on? And they're like, hey, our regional manager sent out an email and said, call Patriot Illumination, put lights on your property this year. I don't care what you do. And that email literally got us 13 properties that year because of a Facebook post during the height of COVID.
Yeah. And look, man, you put your money where your mouth is, because like I said, that's how I know how. I mean, I knew about you beforehand, but still, man, you're out there just producing content. And I think that you hit it on the head, because I want to talk about branding on the company side and branding on the individual side, because you're right. When it comes to branding for your company, because like I said, I checked out all of your stuff before you even got on here, because I know you got your stuff checked, or your website done by Ryan Goliska, at 180 Sites. He does a really good job. And so, just having all of your branding, like your trucks, your website, everything, like, because I tell guys all the time, like, I'm gonna get some cheap website, or I'm gonna get some cheap branding kind of thing, and then redo it. And then they wonder it's more expensive to fix those things than it is to even, like I said, just do it from the first place, right? And then you hit it on the head when you said about your brand, about Patriot Illumination, that it's not Christmas light, Wilmington, NC, or Christmas light installers near me, right? It's Patriot Illumination. And what I tell guys is that how you get better at SEO. SEO is about 50% of the game is going to be about an SEO, search engine optimization, for you guys out there. But it's going to be about, optimizing the website and having that. But what guys don't know is that when you have that brand and people are looking you up, you don't have to have as good quote unquote technical SEO and all of that, right? Because if Amazon's website went down for a month, right, and then it came back a month later, do you think they need SEO to pop right back up at the #1 spot? No,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They would be good. So that branding, you really hit it on the head when you talked about, having that branding and that importance of that. And that segues me into a very good question on when do you think pressure washing or, exterior cleaning company, lighting companies, Christmas light installation companies should first invest in digital marketing? Because one thing we get with our clients is that I'll get guys that come on and I'm like, dude, you've only been in business for like 3 months, man. You probably don't need any digital marketing. You just need to get boots on the ground. Goya, as like Patrick Clark would say, right? Like you just need to like get a foundation. So in your personal opinion, when do you think the, crystal light companies, pressure washing businesses, lighting companies should first invest in digital marketing?
Yeah. So big thing, like it's a little bit different for lighting versus washing. Like our average ticket for washing, I think is like $800, somewhere around there. Our average ticket for lighting is $2,000. So I know my ROI on the lighting side is going to be a lot better for each client that we are able to reach with the digital marketing. So when you can afford it, but you said it, really good. Like we need to be humble. We need to get out there and do the hard things first, and actually get out there and grind, do the door knocking, do the yard signs, put out the hangers and things like that. So if we're gonna skip that, like I just feel we're doing ourselves a disservice, because it's important to get out there and get your brand out there by putting those things out there. You're doing the customer a favor by putting that door hanger on there, because maybe they need your service and they just are so busy they haven't even thought about it or haven't had a chance to look on the internet to find it. But now you put that door hanger on there, and Mike just got home from a busy day. He's like, son of a gun, like I needed my house washed. Let's just call these guys right now. So it's important just to get out there and do these hard things. Well, it's not really hard, but get out there and actually do the grind. Do the grind, get out there. I can't tell you how many thousands of door hangers I put out. I've even had my kids do it. I remember I'd give them a bag. I'm like, all right, you get that side of the street, I got this side of the street, and we'll meet in the middle.
Yeah.
Have fun doing it, because again, it's if you're out in the community and they see your wrap truck, it makes a difference. If you're going to go out in the community in a concealed car and not have a branded shirt on or anything like that, then it gets a little shady. Like you're just trying to put it on real quick. Are they home?
Right.
I'm not going to put it on there. So, but at the, when you have the cash flow to be able to afford it, because it's sometimes it can be a gamble. I mean, are you investing in digital marketing right now with Christmas lights? Like it may pay off. I don't know. I don't know what your area is, because every area is different. Everybody gets a little bit more excited about Christmas than other areas. Did we start investing in digital marketing right now for Christmas lights? You better believe it, because we want people to start thinking about it early. That's why we're doing all the Facebook posts. Our trucks and vehicles are, they're fully wrapped with Patriot, and they're out and about right now. We don't have them parked waiting until October. So I don't know if that fully answers your question.
No. It does kind of answer my question, where you just say like, look, guys, because like I said, it's going to be different for everybody. You may be in an area that may be like Denver, where the average ticket, it's easy to just go ahead and throw an average ticket out to say $800, right? And it's a more wealthier area than other areas, where if I'm in like Fayetteville, Arkansas, people aren't going to, I'm not saying that they wouldn't, but it's going to be much more of an intensive kind of sales process to get them to pay $800. Right. Yeah. And so you answered my question in the sense that, yeah, you gotta have that foundation. You gotta, and I like how you said the mindset thing, make it fun. And then also another thing that you said about it as well is that you change your mindset or your mindset about it. Instead of saying like, guys, like, am I bothering this guy if I'm putting this door hanger out? Am I bothering him if you're door knocking and all this? You change your mindset to where you said, nah, man, like you need this, like this guy may have forgotten that he needs this service, right? So when you go with it with that mindset, it makes it much easier for you to do those things. So nah, you hit it on the head, man. What are some marketing efforts that you've stopped, in the past few years that just has not worked for you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, EDDM that's the one we weren't consistent with it. And honestly, our brand took over to the point where it's the community speaks for us, that they didn't need that door hanger and they didn't need the postcard. And I always felt for the ROI for our campaigns. And I'm sure if I had somebody that said, here, it's $20,000, go make it happen. But I'd rather spend $5,000 and wrap another vehicle or spend it on social media marketing.
Mm-hmm. No, understandable, understandable. And like I said, because I forgot to actually talk about that when it comes to your company, branding and your own personal branding, is that there's AI out, right? As we know, like artificial intelligence, and there's different things. Like I even saw you had an avatar. And what people don't know as business owners is that with the advent of AI now, and with like the new algorithm that Google has when it comes to authorship and things like that, it's more important than ever to go ahead and have a personal brand. Because JC, if you build, I know you're building your own personal brand, but when it gets really big 5 years from now, and let's say that on your website, you post a blog post and it says the author's JC, Chanowsky at that point, Google's gonna recognize like, man, this dude has a big YouTube following. He has a big Facebook following with all of that. So they're like, whatever this guy says is more important than this admin at WordPress kind of guy, right? When they're posting things. And so it's very good that you talked about your own personal brand and you building that up, because now, with the advent of AI, we don't know what information is going to be right or wrong. When somebody posts a blog, you don't know if that information was from AI or was it from this person. So it's good that you're building up that personal brand so that all your other marketing branding efforts that you do are going to be, amplified even more. And so one thing I did want to talk to you about is, how come your name is not Patriot Christmas Lights? Why is it Patriot Illuminations? Like, most guys would say when they're starting off, they're like, I'm going to name my, business. If their business is called like Castle Window Cleaning, they might say, I'm going to create another division called Castle Christmas Lights. Why did you choose the name Patriot Illuminations over like Patriot Christmas Lights?
Yeah, I think I was grateful that we didn't jump into switching our name year one, and we stayed with Cape Fear Pro Wash. And I think we just added like a wreath around our name and just Cape Fear Pro Wash Christmas lights for the first 2 years. But we went back and forth, and I knew that we wanted to do lighting outside of Christmas lights because I saw the revenue and how easy it was to transition to that in the off season, because I really liked doing the lighting. So I knew there was something we want to do: wedding lights. Eventually we want to do landscape lights. And nobody's calling Patriot Christmas lights for landscape lights. Nobody's calling Patriot Christmas lights for wedding lights. It's Christmas lights, so they're going to think, well, they're a seasonal business. So we wanted to keep it broad enough so that we can, be able to market to all lighting industries and have that, and not just be pigeonholed as the Christmas lighting experts. Now we're the lighting experts, and a lot of guys do it, and it's fine and it's easy. And I think they just don't think ahead. And I was fortunate that I was able to stop and think for a year or two on what we really wanted to do and align ourselves. And again, it comes to the branding. I didn't want to have to rebrand Patriot Christmas Lights to Patriot Illumination. So we just took the time, and it took a while. I mean, I remember it was just driving one day on a road trip with my ex-girlfriend at the time, and all of a sudden, like, holy cow, Patriot Illumination. Yeah. And she's like, I love it. And I had to look it up and make sure nobody had it, and they had Patriot Illuminations, which closed down, but Patriot Illumination was available, locked in the website. And fast forward, this 4 years now, Patriot Illumination. No, shoot, 5 years, I guess now. So yeah. I just wanted that freedom to be able to be the expert in lighting, not the expert in just Christmas lights for our customers.
And that's, man, look, I learned something new, because I wanted to ask you that question, because this could save anybody listening or watching. This could save them a lot of money, a lot of heartache and time, because I remember I watched one of your Facebook reels, and it said that, it was a little like 1 minute or 2 minute reel. And it said like, this is why you don't want to name your company like with the lights thing, right? Because you want to be able to segue yourself into doing like landscape lighting. Because if you have, guys don't think about this, but you could be like that total home service provider for somebody, right? Where you can like do the, wash their home. You can, and that's probably where you're headed anyway, which you already are there anyway, where somebody says like, look, you can wash my home, you can hang my Christmas lights, and you can do my landscape lighting stuff as well, right? Like you can do my landscape lighting, you can do all of these different things, my outdoor lighting that I have, and they already trust you. And so you can, I'm pretty sure you already know this, but like cross-channel your CRM stuff to where you have your pressure washing clients and say, hey, if you have any outdoor lighting, we can do that too. You probably have your guys already upsell for that stuff anyway. So that was a really good nugget that you had talking about that. So how are you talking about that right now, to where you have Patriot Illumination, you have your other business, Cape Fair Pro Wash? why do you think you've been successful in operating multiple businesses when most people can't operate like one? You know what I mean? What has made you successful in operating two and or more as well?
Building a team. And I can only get my company so far, but building a team that I can trust in and they trust in me has been the key to all that. And I've got, I call it the core four. It's myself, admin, ops, and sales. And the three of them alone, like they will run the company without me. I could be gone for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, and I don't get phone calls because they know that I trust them and they can make the decisions without me. And that's the key, because they're passionate about what they do. They're invested in the team. They're invested in growing personally and professionally with the company. And that's the hardest part for people, is to, one, to hire, two, to trust them, and three, to, want them to succeed, want them to watch them grow, and build them to be better leaders themselves too.
Mm-hmm. And what were those four things again? What were those four things? Your four pillars for that?
The core four.
It's the core
That was just the positions: admin, ops, sales, and myself.
admin, ops, sales, and yourself. Okay, so like the CEO, leadership, ops. I'm sure you have an operations manager, correct?
Yes.
The
Yeah.
one who handles all of that, and you have your admin, all that. So building a team, and I know that I saw on your Facebook that you have a guy right now that's going off to college, right? I know you guys had a
Parker.
breakfast.
Yeah.
Yep, and real big team building thing. Do you have like one piece of nugget, like of just when it comes to team building, that activities, things, or just whatever it may be? It could be a tip, right? Like in the sense of do this with your team, or do you have any like kind of thing that you do specifically that you could give,
Yeah, I've got a couple. I mean, the big thing, you're going to have culture no matter what. So it's up to you to decide if it's going to be good culture or a bad culture, positive or negative culture. And you don't have to wait till you have 5, 6 people to figure that out. You can do that early on. So invest in having a positive culture, because people want that. People want to feel like they belong someplace. That 5, 10 years ago, people would leave for $1 and work someplace else for $1. Now they want to go someplace where they feel like they have a home, someplace they care about. Like, we're all humans and things happen. And when my guys have issues and things like that, like, I want to know what's going on, because if it's affecting them personally, mentally, physically, emotionally, it's going to affect them in the workplace too. So being able to show them like, hey, what's going on? Ask questions, intrusive leadership. Like if Jonathan's coming every single day and he's smiling and he's got that happy smile, and then Tuesday he came in and he's not happy, like, don't just say, all right, let's get on the truck and figure out what's going on. And, get to your job. Like, hey, John, pull Jonathan's on. It's like, hey man, you good? Like, what's going on? Like, show them that you care, because they're out there hustling and grinding for you every single day. Getting your company and growing your company. So you need to show the time that you care about them. Like today, my kids and I, we just went to Costco and we just stocked up on a bunch of food for the shop, so that when they come in the morning, let's say they're running late, they're not stressed out because they're hungry or having to run to the store real quick to grab a snack. Like, there's food for them there. And just a little things like that, making them breakfast, bringing them lunch. Like, if I show up on a job site and I don't have Chick-fil-A, I get called out all the time. Like, they know if the boss is on site, the Chick-fil-A biscuits are coming. So like, invest some money into your team, because the dividends pay like just incredible over time.
So definitely. One question I like to ask guys like yourself, man, entrepreneurs and all of that: what is a personal life hack that has made you a better entrepreneur?
Ooh, personal life hack.
Yeah, personal life hack, a personal thing that you've implemented. I know it's a question that everybody kind of gets stumped on sometimes, but I always want to know, like just as an entrepreneur in general, doesn't have to be about lighting, doesn't have to be about anything like that, but like just a personal thing for yourself. And not even a personal life hack, but just something that has made you a better entrepreneur that you started doing. Been doing.
Yeah. I'd have to say it's gonna be the networking. And for years I've gone to industry events and I would just show up, and I'm very introverted, despite what you see. Like, I can only take so much when we go to these shows. Like, I talk to people, I love talking to people, then I gotta like go to my corner and just hide. And I've been very intentional over especially last year, of getting out and talking to people and getting the nuggets, if you will, from everybody to figure out how I can become a better leader. And that's the thing. Like, I'm not the same leader I was 5 years ago. And I
Mhm.
know that. And I'm not the same leader I'm going to be in 5 years from now. And understanding that you're going to change and you need to change. You need to change with time, and you need to recognize that and be humble about it, to accept criticism, to the good and the bad. And it's okay for somebody to come up to you. And I would love it. You know, if we're best friends. We talk all the time. You said, JC, like, you're doing this wrong right now. Like, this is not right. And you could be doing this better. Like, all right, cool. Thank you. Because we can have our blinders on as leaders, as entrepreneurs. And sometimes we're so focused on one specific thing that we don't see the things that you're casting off to the left and right. And I got called out by my operations manager a month ago. Like, and I thanked him. I gave him a hug. I'm like, thanks, dude. Like, I needed that. Like, I was just so blinded by everything else going on that I didn't realize how toxic I was at the company. And it's not great every single day. And it was humbling for him to tell me, like, hey, dude, like, nobody wants to be around you right now. Like, shoot, you're right. I don't even want to be around myself. So, that's a lot right there. But being able to take the criticism and being able to get out and network and not just show up to an event and just be a bystander, but to talk to people, because we see them on Facebook, we see all the things we're doing. So why not get out there? I'm human, you're human, we all shake hands the same way. Get out there and talk to them. What's the worst they're going to say? I'll talk to you in a couple of minutes because I'm busy right now, or here's my phone number, let me call you later.
Yeah. So no, that's awesome, man. And so that's kind of me wrapping it up, man, in the sense of where can people find you? Where can people find you personally? And also, like I said, guys, I will say again, for Beyond the Bulbs, you guys joining, like I said, there's 2 packages, right? And I want to go ahead and make sure that I'm not saying them correctly. You have the Lumen Learners, $297 a month. Right,
Yep.
guys? It's July right now. It's July when this episode probably comes out. It's going to be, or it's not July. It's June right now. Or no,
No, it's July.
hey,
It's
it's
July.
July. Man, like it's July right now. But when you guys see this episode, it will probably be August, end of July, whatever it may be. So Beyond the Bulbs, all that information, JC's gonna give me that, is gonna be in the description of this YouTube video or the podcast. You guys will be able to have that. But where can people find you personally, man?
JC_Chanowsky, I think, on Facebook, Instagram. I still trying to figure out Instagram. I'm supposed to be better about that, but I don't. But yeah, I'm always on Facebook. You can find me anywhere. Hit me up, send me a message. If I don't get back to you, I promise you I'll do my best to get back to you. I love helping people. I love talking to people. It's like the highlight of my day. My mission is to motivate, inspire, bring joy to one person every single day. So if that's you, I'd love to be on the call with you and talking to you about whatever it can be: hiring employees, training, all the good stuff. I'm not an expert in everything, but I do have a lot of experience that I love to share.
Hey, man, that's awesome. You got anything else to share, my friend, or no?
Can I share something real quick? Can we do like
Yeah,
a screen share?
yeah. Screen share, man.
All right. So I just built this out today. I'm pretty excited, and it's actually perfect timing for anybody that's like looking to get into the Christmas light industry. And I'll explain this out to you real quick. Can you see this right here?
We can see it.
All
You
right. So, I get asked a lot of time, like, I ask individuals like, hey, what's your goal this year? And I usually get like, I want to do 100 houses. And like, what's 100 houses? And I don't know. So it's important to know as you're getting into the lighting industry, and like, this is like just made this today, so it's going to get tweaked a little bit, is understanding your capacity, which will help you understand your goal. And if you understand your capacity and what you can do a day with your crews, you'll be able to figure out a goal. So right here, there's 53 total days from October 1st to December 15th. That's 53 working days, Monday through Friday, not including Thanksgiving. These are very crucial days because we have very limited time, and really up until Thanksgiving are the most important days. So I like to do this right here because let's just say somebody who is just starting out in Christmas lights. Is this thing working? Why is it not working? Oh man, this isn't working. All right, we'll just leave it like this. But this will give you, let's just say a new guy that's joining the industry, their capacity with a 2-man crew. I like to be on the low side, is gonna be $2,500. So they're gonna go out there and be able to put up $2,500 worth of Christmas lights. And if they were able to utilize all 53 days of that season from October 1st to December 15th, their goal for that season is 132,500, which for some, that's like a big shock. Like, wow, that's a big number to be able to do 2.5 months. I'm not even doing that in the washing. And that's just doing, like I said, $2,500 with a 2-man crew, which is on the low end.
Weekday.
Now, oh, go ahead.
No. Weekdays only, because I was about to ask you. I see a Monday through Saturday right there.
Yeah. So if they were going to add Saturdays, now typically in October, we're not really going to add Saturdays because it's going to be more of the October, December, or November, December. But if they were going to add the Saturdays for those 2 months, now that brings their goal up to $150,000. So that's what, a $17,500 difference right there. Okay, so we talked about a 2-man crew, 1 truck, $2,500. Very little training. They didn't go to Clipper training. They didn't reach out. They didn't reach out to a local guy and say, "Hey, can I shadow you?" Now, our crews, 2-man crews. Now remember, 132. Let's just put this right here. 132, 500. Our crews are doing $3,500 a day.
Mm-hmm.
That brought it up to $185,500. So now we're up, what, $53,000 for that season, just with 1 crew, because they took the time to train their team properly. They became more efficient. So now their capacity increased by $1,000 a day to bring their goal up $53,000 for the season. $53,000 for the season. So that just goes to show how important it is to invest in training and in your team. And I often hear like, I can't afford to go to that training. Well, that $1,500 training that you just did with Clippa or whoever you went to just netted, helped you gross another $50,000. I think that's a pretty good ROI for $1,500.
That's just one extra job that, like, $1,000. If you're doing that a day, that's just one extra job, right?
Yes. And
calculate from Monday through Saturday too, because I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah. So we got 150,000. Let's just put that right here.
So I get it to 1,000.
We're gonna go to 3,500, and now we're at 20. So $60,000 difference. If you added those Saturdays. Now, I prefer a 3-man, 4-man crew. Those are my favorite. I feel like the efficiency, the teamwork, and be able to show up to a job site. 1 person go greet the customer. 1 guy start on the roof line. 1 guy start on the power. The greeter goes and gets everything else set up and starts the minis. Our crews are going to be doing about $5,500 a day, right? So let's say $5,500. So if we added a 3-man crew versus a 2-man crew, look at that difference right there.
Yes,
I'm not a math wizard, but it looks like $106,000 difference to me. I could be wrong.
Oh, it's 106,000. It's 106,000. Your math is mathing.
All right. So $106,000 by going from a 2-man crew to a 3 or 4-man crew and still keeping with 1 vehicle. So if you can't afford another vehicle, another trailer, whatever it may be, just by adding that 3rd person, and this is going to be somebody who's trained, who has the resources, who's networking, talking to people. So I just like to show this, and it's just crazy to be able to manipulate math a little bit and just see. So this is and then let's just say you wanted to do, let's say 2 2-man crews, right? Because we got a couple of Pro Masters or box trucks, and then you had this, your 3-man crews. You got a pickup truck and a trailer. 3 crews right here. $662,500 for a crew, teams that are highly efficient. You're marketing early. You're not waiting until September to reach out to your clients. You're taking those steps that we're teaching you beyond the bowls to be successful. 662,500 in 53 days. I don't think you're going to do that any time in a lifetime of washing.
Yeah.
So I'm building this out right now. I will have this available for people to be able to use. I'll figure out how I'm going to get that out to everybody. But I just wanted to show this to you real quick, just the potential what we could be doing in lights and just how important it is right now, just to moving numbers around and seeing the difference, what being properly trained versus not being trained, and the efficiency and your capacity will do to your company over the Christmas light season.
Look, man, even if most guys that, the audience watching this right now that are just like, look, Jonathan, guys don't understand that even if you're at 250,000, right, and you just have 1 crew, if you just switch that crew over to just Christmas lights and you add another $130,000 in that sense in those 2 months, because it's like, yes, I love the watch industry, and don't get me wrong, but I tell guys, like, sometimes I'm like, why don't you want to do the Christmas light thing? Because think about it, you can still take even though I don't believe I'm pretty sure you don't believe in vacations, quote unquote, like that as well. I'm pretty sure you're working 365 days of the year. But of course you go on vacation, man. But what I mean by that is what some guys do where they're like, we're not working at all. Maybe you do that, and that could work for some guys. But even if you want to do that, imagine you're able to just say this to your guys, right? We're washing from February, March, let's just say March on the safe side, but March to November, right? Or March to October, like how you're talking about. And then we're installing lights from October to December. And then you're doing takedown in January. And then you tell your guys, like, look, man, we can take a month off because you just made that extra 130,000 that you weren't going to have in the first place anyway, right? And so, yeah, that's good. You could probably give your guys a vacation, and I'm pretty sure you do that, don't you?
Oh, they deserve it at that point.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you give your guys a vacation in the sense of give them like that month or two off in that sense. But like I said, man, I really appreciate you for sharing that. Do you have anything else to share for us?
No, that's it. Like I said, I just built that out today, and I was pretty excited to get that and just be able to show people the potential they can do. One, with starting a Christmas light company, and the difference between being properly trained or just trying to wing it. And just that $1,500 investment to get yourself properly trained will go a long way, as we just showed you.
Yep. Well, hey guys, like I said, this is Jonathon Henderson with Pressure Washer Marketing Pros, and as you see, I had JC Chanowsky with me. Cape Fear Pro Wash, this time I'm not gonna mess it up. I'm gonna name all four because in the beginning I didn't. But Cape Fear Pro Wash, Patriot Illumination, like I said. Then you got Beyond the Bulb, and then you also have In the Foxhole, where it talks about the entrepreneurial journey and all of that. So you guys can find him there also. So yeah, man, like I said, thank you for taking the time today, man, to just share your wisdom and share your knowledge.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No problem, man. No problem.